My name is Christopher Busayo Oluoshoki. I'm the founder of B.Khrease Academic Consult. And today I'm going to be sharing brief information on how to go about getting scholarship or starting a scholarship opportunity if you already have information or documentation that are relevant for the application. So we have 3 social media handles. We have the Facebook, we have the LinkedIn, and we have the TikTok account. And on the LinkedIn, the name is B.Khrease Academic Consult. B.Khrease Academic Consult. For TikTok, it's the same B.Khrease Academic Consult. While for Facebook, we have it as Earths and Habits in brackets B.Khrease Academic Consult. Listen once again. The LinkedIn is B.Khrease Academic Consult. That's our name. On TikTok, it's also B.Khrease Academic Consult. Then on Facebook, we have it as Earths and Habits. Then in brackets, B.Khrease Academic Consult. So that those are our 3 social media handles. And this is how our LinkedIn looks like. Yeah, these are some of our posts from time past. And if you also go to TikTok, if you go to Facebook, you are going to see some of our programs that have been done in the time past. So these are things that we have done so far. And what is B.Khrease Academic Consult basically doing? So we are an organization that work basically with undergraduate and postgraduate students. And we work with these people to help them navigate how to get to do things that has to do with conducting research and also helping them to look or get opportunity that is relevant to postgraduate study. So we have quite a number of services that we do on B.Khrease Academic Consults. And I'm going to just show us from here so we can see some of our services which we have done or which we are doing. One of them including helping with project planning. Yes, project planning. Another one is helping with research article writing. Some of them, our services, project planning, client expert pairing, laboratory networking, CV or resume template gifting, collaboration and mentorship, research or report proposal writing. Then we also help with recommending internship, basically for undergraduates from Nigeria. Yes, these are some of our services, and it doesn't just end there. And these are our team member, myself, Mr. Prosper, Mr. Tokwe, Mrs. Nkechi, Mr. Victor, Mr. Richmond, Mr. Benson, Mr. Jacob, and Mr. Areolua. So these are the team member of B.Khrease Academic Consult. So you can just go to our page to check out some of our content. And for today, I said I'm going to just be sharing a summarized information of how to go about application process, series 1. And this is because we have requests from some of our students and some people from our social media, my WhatsApp accounts directly. So I'm going to just be showing, demonstrating the second phase because I think I've done the first phase in one of our training. It should be online on YouTube, but not on our YouTube page. Yeah. At the same time, I forgot we also have a YouTube page which is also B.Khrease Academic Consults. Yes, YouTube page. And we all know, or we are all aware, if not all, let's say 80 to 90% are aware that for you to apply for a scholarship, you are required to get some documentation. And many times, this documentation are things that we have or we know about. One of it is the transcripts. If you're an undergraduate, you have done your 4 5 years degree and you graduated, you have your transcripts, you have your graduate certificates. That's two documents. Another thing is you also need to get your CV, which is essential for you to have. Then other thing that comes is either research proposal, statement of purpose, uh, statement of intent, or essays, some other essays that you are required to write when you want to apply for scholarship. One other thing that people don't really take serious in application for scholarship is the um, recommendation to. It's also something that is going to be required during the process of applying for scholarship, regardless of where you're applying to. Then some places will require that you submit English proficiency tests. Yeah, some English proficiency tests are required, but can be dependent on schools or countries. Yes, that is another document that is required. And like I said, we have discussed about this in one of our past training. So that is not what I'm going to be doing today. So the focus of this whole talk is going to be channeled to the country that I am currently, which is Australia. And this is because I have more understanding of how most or some of the schools get to recruit PhD or Masters by Research students. So I'm not alien to this process. So that's what I'm going to be demonstrating today. So if you need information about US, we can also still do that, but it's going to be some other time. So like I said, I made mention of some documentation, which is transcripts, certificates, CV, statement of purpose, statement of intent, research proposal, your English proficiency if you have, your, what's it called? Recommenders, recommendations from recommenders. These are the essential things you need to have in place. Then one other thing that makes Australia unique is the ability for you to choose or pick supervisor that you want to work with before you start your PhD. Now, many times, if you would want to get a PhD opportunity with funding, it's a requirement that you are able to talk to supervisor. And talking to this supervisor is going to mean you already have some things in place, which requires some of those documentation I've made mention of. Now, some universities in Australia, if not all, have quite a number of unique research that are available on their websites that has the topic and the abstract or summary of the research with supervisor or scientists that are in charge of those research, in search of those research. So this research or this project on this university website are there for students to look out for and pick if this is what you want to do or if that is what you feel like doing. And this has to have a strong alignment with your research background most of the time. That is why if you would want to convince or you work with a supervisor here, you must have been doing research in that area before you send meet the supervisor in charge of this project. And one of the process to go about reaching the supervisor, one of the essential steps, rather, is that you must be able to articulate a research proposal that is in line with that research information that you have gotten or you have seen online. Yes. So yes, that research that you have seen online. So you have all your documentation ready, you have your research proposal, then you have to send out a cold email. And what does cold email entails? Summary. You want to work with someone you've not met before or someone you've not had the opportunity to talk with before. If it's a in-person kind of scenario, you have to have a 1 or 2 minute pitch for you to interact with the person and talk about what you're doing. But because this is going to be something that is going to be through email, it is called a cold email. So you send email trying to sell yourself, trying to put out a pitch to the supervisor in charge of those projects. And like I said, the projects are already available, if not all, most universities in Australia on their website. And I'm going to be showing us what I'm talking about with demonstration with an example of a university. So yeah, you will send cold email. Now, take for instance, I am doing a research in diabetes. That is one of my research area. And I want to conduct a research in diabetes. Now, it is not necessary that I directly get research on this university website that is talking about diabetes alone. It could be some other complication of diabetes that I'm seeing in those websites. So I must be able to like articulate or link what I'm doing currently in diabetes to this research in diabetes complication I'm seeing online. So there are sometimes that some students would not be able to come across research directly on diabetes, but their complication like ketoacidosis, like retinopathy, like nephropathy, neuropathy, and other type of complication that is related to diabetes. Now, if you are a very dexterous researcher, a researcher that is flexible, you should know that you are still in a good place for you to conduct that kind of research because you already have a foundational idea of what diabetes is, which is the primary area. Now, the research that you are not seeing that has to do with the complication is just something that is going to take you an extra effort to go further in what getting ideas or learning and grooming yourself on that area of expertise. So if many times students go online and check for research and they can't see topic or keywords that is directly linked to what they are doing or their research expertise, they just feel they are unable to do it, which is one limitation that many people find in how to get research projects on some of these university websites in Australia. So yes, like I said, I'm doing research in diabetes rather, and also research in diabetic foot ulcer. Now, my primary area of research is diabetes mellitus, treatment, therapy, prevention, and that. But I'm seeing a research in diabetes foot ulcer. You should know that that is a complication of the foot where the leg become like big, like elephantiasis. But then, because that is not what I've been doing in the time past, I'm just more focused on diabetes. That is going to kind of bring a first impression of challenge of how to go out about conducting the research. But if you really or if you are really interested in doing the research in that area of diabetes, I think diabetes foot ulcer is also an area of research that could be explored, which is a way of progressing if you are looking for research opportunity in universities in Australia. So yes, prepare a research proposal. And this research proposal is going to entail that you are able to talk about some things that has to do with that research that you have identified on the university website that is relevant to your expertise or your research interest. Now, in summary, a research proposal contains some vital details, which some people will meet. The first thing is topic of your research. Topic of your research, followed by a short introduction. Now, some people would also include research problem statement in their proposal, while some people would omit it. So it is advisable that if you are putting the research problem statement, you are linking it to the problem statement that has been identified in that university website for that project that you saw. I'm talking about Australia context now, because you are going to see quite a number of research. Now, you must be able to link your research problem statement to that problem of that research that you have identified on this university website. And this is because if you're going to be sending that kind of proposal to any supervisor that is in charge of that project, they would have idea that you have seen the research and you must have been able to digest what they're talking about. So research problem statement is also one of the things that you are going to include in your proposal. Then followed by this is going to be a summarized version of literature review, talking about that area of research in itself. Like I said, summarize area of that research, literature review. Followed by this, you are going to have an organized methodology that you are proposing or you are looking forward to conduct that research or addressing that research. Methodology. Before the methodology, you could have your aim and objective, which obviously might be redesigned after you start the project, but it doesn't end here. That is why I said your research problem statement must be well written in this proposal, even though you might not have your aim and objective in this proposal, but your research problem statement must be there, followed by your methodology. Like I said, also summarize key methods that you are proposing for you to address that problem that you have identified. Then after your methodology, you are also going to have your research benefits. What are the benefits of this research? How is it going to benefit the field of this research, the patients, and the community at large, even if it doesn't end in this vicinity? And when I say community, you should be aware that the first community of interest that this research is going to be for is Australia, before it's even expand to the world. So I have been able to go through some research proposal for someone going to be writing or conducting a research in Australia, and I'm seeing information that is talking about, let's say, epidemiology information of this disease, talking about some other countries. Now, you might generalize epidemiology information, like for instance, if you're talking about diabetes, the population of people having it, the mortality yearly, you can generalize it worldwide. But when it comes to you streamlining to location, the best place you would want to use is information that is relevant to Australia. Not you writing a proposal and you're talking about epidemiology data for New Zealand, even though New Zealand is also an islander country. But Australia is where you want to conduct the research. So this is one other mistake I have also identified, some people writing proposal. So about that, the benefit of your research must firstly be something that is going to benefit the research community or the body of knowledge of that research area, the patients, if you're working in health-related research or consumer, and then also the community at large, starting from the location of that research. You get now. So this benefit also has to be able to be linked to some sustainable development goal, which are key ties that shows that your research is contributing to development. Yes. Then beside the benefits, you can also put information of reference. Yes, the references that have been you have used to gather these research proposal. So that is just a summary of what research proposal is, and that's not what I really want to talk about today. So after this research proposal has been written, you have your documentation. It is expected that you want to send email to this supervisor that you have identified the research. But how do you identify the research? How do you get to see this research in this your field of interest? So I'm going to be showing us today. And one of the universities in Australia that I have identified that have this kind of platform for available research is University of Melbourne and RMIT University. So, but for today, I'm going to be showing us RMIT University because that is university. I'm going to show us RMIT University, which is the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, RMIT. Yes. And the reason why I'm showing us RMIT because RMIT is a public institution that was established by Queen Elizabeth. So you would want to get more information about RMIT that shows why RMIT is a good place to conduct your research. And I want to also show you some metric about RMIT. RMIT is an international university of technology, design, and enterprise. 3,000 plus scholarship, 24,000 placements for students in health, ranked 5th in the world for reducing inequality. Yes, which is true. I think RMIT is one of the, if not the highest university with a good number of international students. They have quite a number of international students that is good. And this is the QS ranking of RMIT. Globally, it's 125 out of 1,000 of university, and it is 10th in Australia. 10th in Australia. And it's Times ranking. In terms of sustainability, RMIT impact is very high. Globally, 95. Social impact, 59. Governance impact, 42. Subject-wise, a good number of subjects are also well ranked in RMIT. So you can go to the RMIT website, check all this information about RMIT to know why it's a good place to also consider if you want to come for PhD or master's by research. So now this is RMIT website. This is the front page of RMIT. Well, you would like to study architecture, biomedical, communication, health, media, sciences. I know some people that want to do media and they are looking for how do I get good scholarship? How do I get program in media that is going to be suitable for what I want to do? You can always explore MIT for that. And yeah, RMIT has good number of programs that are well structured for media enthusiasts. So my school is School of Sciences. This is Sciences, and I'm studying Applied Biology and Biotechnology under Biotechnology and Biological Sciences. Applied Biology and Biotechnology. So we have quite a number of certificates, diploma, bachelor's, master's, and PhD. So this is PhD Applied Biology and Biotechnology. You see information about this program. You need inquiry about it. You click on inquiry as an international student, of course. You will see the requirements. You see the fee annually. Scholarship is open continually. See area of expertise where you can work, details about the research, the course structure, the career plan, the minimum requirements, prerequisites, don't have prerequisites, English language requirements, these are the requirements, and it can also be dependent or different based on country you are coming from. So for English language requirements, you can go by checking information about English language requirements. Recognized qualification. This is for the English language. I want to check. RMIT recognized this country as English speaking. Quite a number of West African countries like Ghana, like Nigeria, other African countries like Kenya, like Liberia, Malawi, Mauritius, Gambia, Sierra Leone, South Africa, of course, Tanzania, Uganda. So these are countries RMIT recognized as English speaking. That means you have the tendency or likelihood of not being asked an English proficiency documentation. Like I said, you have the tendency of not being asked if you can prove that you are from this country. And sometimes you can have proficiency letter or support letter from your university you graduate if you're in Nigeria that shows that you're a Nigerian. So this can also be supplemented in your application and can help you if you want to conduct research in RMIT. And these are the requirements for you to do PhD. A bachelor of at least 4 years, full-time, a relevant field of honor, and some other things if you have master's, good. And you will see what they are writing, or, that means you might not have every requirement, but accumulation of these requirements give you upper edge. If you have masters and you have undergraduates, of course, and you have some other qualification or documentation, certification that is relevant in this discipline, you are good to go for RMIT for applied biology and biotechnology PhD program. And it's always within 3 to 4 years for full-time PhD program for international students. So now I'm going to go back to the main page of RMIT. You can explore the page just to see the programs and check out other things. If you want to do law, there is law, fashion, you are into fashion design. There are some people that do industrial design. RMIT also have industrial design. They have design school, yeah. Design school. You want to do social work or community work, RMIT has that too. Engineering, communication. RMIT have aviation. You want to go into aviation engineering, pilots, and all sorts of that. Foundational study, bachelor's, PhD, graduate diploma for aviation transportation. So you can see pilot training for bachelor's. So these are things that you can really do in RMIT, quite a number, preschool, undergraduate, postgraduate, and research. Postgraduate and research for international students. And there are some other requirements that you might need to go into this to get. So I won't be showing all that. So you want to get projects on RMIT website that are available to international, even domestic students to come and do. And the beauty about Australia, like I said, is there is quite a number of challenges that they know they have. So researchers or scientists have been able to come up with research projects available in those areas of problem relevant to Australian community or environment for young researchers like me and you to come and do if you know what you are doing. So you come to this research. As you can see, this is research. You click on it, then you come to find research. You click on find researcher. This is the find researcher. So let's say you have a researcher that you really want to work with. This is where you will come. But for instance, you don't know the researcher you want to work with. You don't know the researcher you want to work with. You just want to look out for research available for you to look out for researcher that is in charge of those projects. So this is where you come. I'm coming just a minute. Yeah. You click on research, you come to research degree, and you scroll down to find supervisor and explore project. You want to explore project and you find supervisor in charge. So you click on get started. Now, this is quite a list of research projects that are on RMIT website. You can search by a lot of different formats. Search by college, search by school, search by discipline, search by keywords, and there are up to 1,500 projects found. Now, be sure that not all these projects are going to be active. Some of them might have been concluded, some of them have been ongoing, some of them might just be opening. So you must also be able to check out those information about projects. For instance, look at this project on dynamics of human interaction, cause and consequence. It's closing 2030, meaning either this project is ongoing or they might still be looking for students for it. And it said that there is no project fund. So no project fund doesn't mean they can't conduct this research. It all boils down to if this research might be funded by the university or there might be funding being applied for this research, which is not yet out. So those are things you also need to look out for. So now I want to search by college. Let's say I'm in School of STEM. I want to check research in School of STEM. That's a number of research in School of STEM. But because this is going to take me a long time, I'm just going to search with keyword. I'm going to search for diabetes, which is what I said the other time, diabetes. So research that have diabetes in their keywords are just 18. Now, searching for projects in RMIT database like this, you must also be careful because RMIT has different campuses. I think RMIT have campuses in UK, Europe. They have campus in Vietnam. Yes. And some other places which I can't remember. And Australia, of course, which is their main base. So if you are looking out for projects and you can't identify the location, you can always ask or reach out to me about the location of the project that you have identified with screenshot of that project. So now this is RMIT research that made mention of diabetes. Now this is talking about molecular understanding of protein is food and aggregation phenomena. This is one research. Another one research in Sierra Leone, focus on Sierra Leone. And like I said, if you are writing a proposal for this kind of research, let's say you are picking this research, that means whatever you are going to be focusing or writing on about cardiovascular disease would have a focus on content of Sierra Leone or sub-Saharan region. You get what I'm saying? So you cannot see a project that's talking on Sierra Leone and then be talking about another epidemiology, for instance, data for another country. So you must write in line with what you have identified in your projects of interest. This is AI-driven voice analysis for diabetes. And this is quite interesting because the project is closing this year. That means the project is either ongoing or it's going to end, recruitment is going to end this year, November, if there is still space for this research. This is another research, this is another research, this is another research. So I'm just going to pick one of this research. I'm going to pick one. I'm looking for the one to pick. Let me go to page 2. No, I'm not just going to pick because I'm checking randomly. I'm picking because let's say there is one that is relevant to my research area. So I'm going to pick that one that is relevant to my research area. So look at this research now. Development of herbal medicine from Momodica cochinchinensis. So this is more about natural product therapy. Development of herbal medicine from this plant. But then, like I said, I use keyword of diabetes. So now this research is talking about these plants and the ethnopharmacological implication of these plants for treatment of diabetes and cancer. Diabetes and cancer, which has been written quite well in this research. And information about the plant has been written. This project will focus on upcycling opportunity of other plants like seed and pea, with aim is to develop innovation for medical application. So now this project doesn't have funding, it doesn't have closing dates, and it has campus of Honduras. So that means this research is going to be conducted in Melbourne, RMIT. And the supervisor in charge of this project are two, Professor Tien and Professor Tellini. So now you have identified these projects, just like me, you identify these projects, and you find that this project has been subdivided in such a way that the benefit is going to be in nanomedicine, waste management, reduction, upcycling, reuse, and wearable material. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't have funding information and it doesn't have closing dates. So this kind of thing can be tricky because you don't know if it has or not, but there is no offense in trying. And for you to try, that means you see the name of the supervisor in charge. So you just pick these names, copy it. When you copy it, you come to this place, find researcher, the other place I showed you the other time. You paste this supervisor name. So you search it one by one. This is Professor Tien. Now, Professor Tien is a passionate researcher in environmental sustainability, health awareness, and equality for disadvantaged and underprivileged, blah, blah, blah. She's available. Now, look at this. She's available for master research or PhD student supervision, collaborative projects, industry projects, and media inquiry. Her SDG is 12, 13, 11, 3, 9. Her keywords, biomaterial, blah, 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 blah. Now, you want to get more information about Prof. Tien, you click on her name so you can see the breakdown of what she's doing. You see the breakdown of what she is doing. This is about her, what she has done, her media interview in the time past, her position, her availability, field of research. You go to research output. What are the publications she has done? This is one of her research publications that she has done. And this is one publication that she recently published. Yeah, fortunately, this is my name. Oh, yeah, this is my supervisor. That's just by the way. So now you see other research she has done. She even worked in pesticide effects on human health and pest management. So you should know she's an environmental enthusiast, which is one of the things she has included or written in opening information, passionate about environmental sustainability. So you see quite a number of research that she has done. Now, because that research is talking about a plant that is relevant for treatment of diabetes, that is Momodica conchichiensis, GAC or GAC fruit. You go and look out for, oh, what are the research she has done in the time past in this area? This is Momodica, optimizing extraction of lutein. Oh, lutein is a compound she's interested in this plant. Okay. Benefit of plant carotenoid against eye disease. Oh, that means she also worked on age-related disease, okay, which can also be linked to diabetes. You see some other research in the area of microbiology because she's also an expert in microbiology and biotechnology. This is also a research in using the same plant for treating cancer melanoma cell. This is the same plant, diversity and nutritional variability about the plant. And I'm also looking for another research that talk about the plants that she has done in the time past. So that kind of thing you would see, oh, this is another research. Bioactive compound from GAC. Okay. You see quite a number of research that she has done in the time past that you can check. Oh, this is another research. The first one I was talking about compounds. So you see all this information, you read about this paper, and then you can talk about this because they are relevant to your research proposal that you are going to be presenting to her. So now, how do you go forward from here? You want to check more information about how you go to ORCID. This is our email, our work email. Copy this work email. When you copy this work email, you already have research that you want to talk to her about, which is this. You copy it, research, blah, 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 led by herself and Professor Tillini. You write your code mail, like I said, and you attach your proposal, if necessary, and your CV. Sending it to this person is going to might not come with immediate response, but this is what you have to do. If you already have all the documentation available, like I said, all the documentation, we have discussed them in the time past in our training, so it's not what I discuss in this video. So now this is information about Professor Tien. This is some services that she does. These are teaching and supervision, some research that she's doing. Her current research started, her latest research started August 2025. So you can see that she's quite a researcher that is consistent with research. So the research starts in January 2025, another one February, another March, another August. So you can be one of the lucky students that might be working with her this 2026 if you want to, if you have research in an area or some other area of supervisor. So the other person we want to also check is Professor Cellini. Let me copy it from this place. Cellini. You copy it, paste it here. Wow. This is what she does. She's a pharmacist. And she's also available for research student supervision. You want to check about her information. Oh, yeah, she's also a collaborator in this research. Then other research that has to do with diabetes, you can see ocular delivery for eye disease, drug stability tests, and some other research that are relevant to our field or our area of expertise. So you go through this research, you read about it, you get information. Okay, these are publication that has been that is out from our research, our service and engagement, and then our teaching. Some of the teaching she's doing or she has been doing. So now you also want to copy our email. So send the code mail. Send the code mail to her. So once you send this code mail this way, you should expect response if you have written a well-compelling research proposal. And like I said, this also applies to university like University of Melbourne. There are projects on University of Melbourne like this. These are other research. And at the same time, you can see the same person handling multiple research. For instance, this research, for me, you can see a research that is handled by, okay, this is a research where there is Professor Tellini. Professor Tellini, you can see it. This research developing a novel formulation of carnosine with enhanced permeability. Then this is I again on these projects. Tellini. So a researcher can handle multiple projects. Depends on what you are really interested in. And that's going to describe how you are going to channel your cold email. Now, if you want to send cold email, if you have research publication in that area of interest, it is good for you. If you don't have, it's also good. But you must be able to go directly to the point and be able to present convincing information of why you think you're a best fit. And if you want to say you're a best fit, that means you should know that there are some requirements. And these also come with what you are going to be reflecting on your CV. So I'm not going to be talking about the CV in this place, but know what you are putting out to a potential supervisor before you send cold email. And this is because it is unlikely that you are the only one that is going to be sending cold email to these professors. So you don't want to send something that is surface or scratch level information about what you really want to do. So you must put in the effort, the time, writing, and be direct to the point when you are sending code mail without story, directly to the point. This is what you want to do, and if they are willing to support. Fortunately, you might get response back from these supervisors. And when you get it, it's going to be good for you to proceed. So once you have been able to do this, as I'm going to be presenting or showing us the next phase of duty of what is needed. So this is all about the first series of this information about how to go about getting supervisor research on university websites. So let me just show us one other university, which is University of Melbourne, Uni Melbourne. University of Melbourne websites. And I'm going to be showing us their research too. So this is University of Melbourne research website. And on their website, they have research. Yes, you come to research degree, same way we go to RMIT, and you find a project. You can see their research, the way they structure theirs. You can pick by degree, pick by field of research. Let's say I want to work in cancer. Or let's say, yeah, cancer. You can use keyword cancer. If you can't find it, use keyword to find it. And they have joint PhD partner with all these universities. Let's say you are from doing masters in one of these universities, for instance. Fortunately, you can have university in that you are doing your masters already, that might be one of their partner universities. You can just get information. Let's say you are doing masters University of Manchester and you want to proceed to PhD. You can just go to the faculty where this project in University of Manchester is being undertaken. Oh, so who are the supervisors? You will see the information. Who are the supervisors in Manchester that's in line with this project? Oh, these are the supervisors. These are their names on this research. This is international joint PhD. So you go to the information, check about it, read their names. This one is direct. They have their information link. You can check about this professor. If they even have their contact email, copy their email, supervision inquiry, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And there are some other projects being handled by these professors. So you see it's down on their name. The ones that have been completed, the ones that are still active. So, but for these ones, their own is submitting expression of interest. This is the title of the research. You just click on submit expression of interest. What are the things required for you to submit expression of interest? You write the topic of the research, the project summary, offered by so supervisor. Is a research proposal required? No. For this, they don't require it. Is the writing sample required? No. Put your information, submit. Put your transcript, put your resume, submit. If you are a candidate they find qualified for the position, you are going to get a feedback from them. So this is also a university that is quite easy for you to find research projects that is relevant to your field. So that is that about sending code mail and preparing proposal for research. Just be able to navigate these university platforms. You will see quite a number of other universities. And if you navigate it, you can search these projects, you search keywords if you want to search keyword, or you search researchers, research, whichever way is convenient for you. You can even propose your own project, which is good. You can propose your own project, but before you propose a project, you must be sure that there is a supervisor in that area on the university. So this is where you can search for researchers. So doing that, I think you are good to go to proceed with your application for PhD or Masters by Research, if that is what you need. So once again, my name is Christopher Busayo Olusoki. I'm the founder of B.Khrease Academic Consults. And this video is relevant for whoever has in the time past reached out to us to provide information on how they can proceed with getting projects or applying to project that is relevant for them to proceed in their graduate school pursuit. Thank you for listening and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.